Are we ready? So we are going to start. So I'm going to get here. We are going to do a prayer before we start. Since we are already 30 minutes late, I'm going to pray. Can you kneel down? Dear Father, and to learn about this important subject of courtship and marriage. Father, we ask that you may forgive us where we have offended, and we just want to invite thy presence. We ask that you may come, dear Father, that you may speak to us. We ask that you may strengthen our hearts and help us, dear Father, that we may learn that which you desire us to learn. But Father, may thy will be done, for we pray and ask in the mighty name of Jesus Christ. Amen. Amen. The one we are familiar with is called the way Christians should do it is actually not the same as the way does it. So today we are actually going to learn from the Bible. What is it that God wants us to do? How does God want us to conduct ourselves on courtship and marriage? So we are going to read the Lord, we are going to use the Bible, we are also going to learn what the Lord through the Spirit of inspiration has told us, through the Spirit of prophet. So we are going to do a lot of reading. So before we go into our presentation, I want us to look at a lovely biblical story of a courtship, or not a courtship, of a marriage. So I want us to go to Genesis chapter 24. I want someone to come and read for us from this 50, just so that we can see what can be learned from that Genesis. Genesis chapter 24. Can someone come and read for us? Chapter 24, from verse 50. Genesis from verse 50. Chapter 24. From verse 50. From verse 50, we are going to finish the whole to 67, but we'll see where to stop. So we are going to discuss, we are all here to learn from each other. We are all here to learn together. So we are going to read and see what can we learn from the story of the Bible in the Bible. So she is reading from verse 50. Genesis 24, 50 from verse 50. 50 reads,
And Laban and Bethuel answered and said, The thing proceeded from the Lord, we cannot speak unto thee bad or good. Behold, Rebekah is before thee, take her and go, and let her be thy master's son's wife, as the Lord hath spoken. And it came to pass that when Abraham's servant heard their words, he worshipped the Lord, bowing himself to the earth.
Okay, so this story, this is where if you read before verse 50, this is where Abraham sent his servant to go and get a wife for his son, Isaac. So here from this 50 where we read, this is where the father, they are responding to say, after the servant told him why he's there, that he came to get a wife for his Lord's son. So the family answered, Laban and Bethuel answered the father, and they told him, and the brother, they told him that the thing is coming from the Lord. We cannot speak unto thee bad or good, because he explained to them that it's his master who sent him to go and get the wife. So they said, Rebekah is dead. Take her and go and let her be thy master's wife, thy master's son's wife, as the Lord has spoken. So we see here that this servant was sent, he told them why he was sent there. And the family did not object. They said, okay, she is dead, you can take her so that she can be thy master's son's wife. And Rebekah was not informed here. Isn't it? Rebekah did not even no, but the parents already allowed it. They said it's fine. You can take her so that you can go and become the master son's wife. And then when the servant also heard that he worshipped the Lord, because remember when he came, he prayed to the Lord and asked the Lord to show him favor, to show favor to his Lord, to his master Abraham. So when they responded to him that way, he worshipped the Lord. In other words, he thanked the Lord for the message which he was already beginning to show to him. So can we continue to read?
Verse 53. And the servant brought forth jewels of silver and jewels of gold, and raiment, and gave them to Rebekah. He gave also to her brother and to her mother precious things. And they did eat and drink, he and the men that were with him, and tarried all night, and they rose up in the morning, and he said, Send me away unto my master. And her brother and her mother said, Let the damsel abide with us a few days, and the least 10 after that she shall go. 56. And he said unto them, Hinder me not, seeing the Lord has prospered my way. Send me away that I may go to my master. And they said, We will call the damsel and inquire at her mouth. 58. And they called Rebekah and said unto her, Wilt thou go with this man? And she said, I will go.
Okay, stop there. So here we see that they requested him that the damsel should remain with them for a few days. So you may ask yourself, now this person just comes, he wants to take the woman. When did the woman prepare for marriage? She was going to get married. When was the courtship done? When did this lady prepare for marriage? So you ask yourself. So they say, they only requested for 10 days. They say, let her remain with us for at least 10 days. Then she can go. But the servant said, not so, I need to go back to my master. So they said, okay, let's call the damsel. She's there, let's hear from her. And they called her. So when they called her, in verse 58, they called Rebekah and said unto her, Would thou go with this man? And she said, I will go. So the question is, did Rebekah know where she was going? Did she know whom she was going to marry? Now, why did she accept to go? Why did she accept to go?
Possibly, the reason why she accepted also, she was also a God-fearing person, and she knows the way the servant came. The servant narrated the story of how he wanted the Lord to show him the rightful person, and she happened to be the person that the Lord answered the prayer through. So she was like, this is from the Lord, why would I object? And if it's from the Lord, he knows the person I'm going to marry is also the one he prepared for me. So let me just go, there is no objection here. Everything is already planned by God.
Yes, that's so true. Anyone else to also contribute on that? Okay, no one. So yes, that's all true. Rebekah was also a God-fearing, and because the servant narrated how the Lord revealed to him that that woman is the right one, she also did not object. But I'm sure this woman was also praying. She was praying and she trusted in God. So this is what we call complete trust. She trusted in God, and she trusted that the Lord will give her someone who is right. So to contrast it to us today, we like to choose for ourselves, isn't it? If God tells us this is the right one, we like to look at the externals. Is he handsome? How are his feet, his hand, and all those things, isn't it? But we are going to learn pure love does not look at the mere externals. It does not look at the externals only, the appearance of a person only, but it looks at the character of the person. So it overlooks how the person looks like. So that's pure and holy affection. So what we term true love today may not really be, it's actually not true love, because we just look at the person. Even if the person is rotten inside, you still want to go with that person. You say, no, he's going to change and all that. But what we are learning from this is that we need to trust what God tells us. So we are going to continue. Let's continue to read. from the 59. From
59. And they sent away Rebekah their sister and her nurse, and Abraham's servant and his men. And they blessed Rebekah and said unto her, Thou art our sister, be thou the mother of thousands of millions, and let thy seed possess the gate of those which hate them. And Rebekah arose and her damsels, and they rode up the camels and followed the men, and the servant took Rebekah and went his way. 62. And this is the meeting of Isaac and Rebekah now. 62. And Isaac came from the way of the well to the high road, for he dwelt in the south country. And Isaac went out to meditate in the field at the eventide, and he lifted up his eyes and saw, and behold, the camels were coming. And Rebekah lifted up her eyes, and when she saw Isaac, she lighted off the camel, for she had said unto the servant, What man is this that walketh in the fields to meet us? And the servant had said, It is my master, it is my master. Therefore she took a veil and covered herself.
Okay, let's stop there for now. Names. How many people are going to call those names? So that degree of reserve is very important. So we are going to go now through our presentation to see what we can learn. Okay, so there are steps which we need to follow for you to get married or for you to call. So we are going to go through those steps. Actually, there's 3 main steps. The first one is courtship, and then there is engagement, and then marriage. But there are some steps which you need to follow before you even get to courtship. These are the ones which I put here, which we are calling preliminary steps. These ones, you need to do them before there's even someone. Okay? So the first thing, you need to prepare. So when the servant went to get Rebekah, they did not say, okay, give us 2 months to prepare this woman, isn't it? She was already prepared. So you need to prepare now. You need to be faithful where you are, in the homes of your parents. If you are blessed with Christian parents, you are even privileged. So we need to follow their counsel. We need to follow counsel from the Bible. So what they tell us to do, we need to do it. You need to be acquainted. What is it that you need to do in the home? Even when looking after your brother and sister, you need to learn already. Because you do not know, the Lord may bless you with children whom you need to bring up for Him, isn't it? So the preparation starts now. Where you are, you must not wait until there's someone that you start learning, you start preparing. Preparation starts now. So we need to be faithful in home duties. I have given quotations there, which you can go and read to read more about it. But to also go through that preparation, the things which you need to learn later on. So we need to start preparing now before there's even someone. These are the preliminary steps, so that when the Lord gives you someone, you are already prepared. You don't start preparing that time. So you also, the second thing is you need to ask, is it God's will for you to get married? We know that not everyone is called for marriage, isn't it? So we need to ask. Some of us may not be called for marriage. So the Lord is the one who knows, isn't it? The Lord is the one who knows whether you will be helped through this union, through this marriage or not, or whether you are better off alone. Because the main objective is for us to get to heaven, isn't it? So when we get in those marriages, I think the important question is that union, that relationship going to help you in anyone? Because our main objective while here is that we must get to heaven one day, isn't it? So we need to ask, God is the one who knows you. He created you and He knows what's best for you. So you need to ask, is it His will that you should get married? And if He says no, you are not to get married, maybe He wants you to dedicate yourself to an area of work. Obey what God says, because He is the one who knows. But if He says yes, then then it's fine. So you can also ask, this one I just added, you can also ask your parents or those advanced in years if you are ready. Ask your parents. We need to be open. I know in our culture today, we are not so open to our parents, isn't it? Are you able to ask your parents whether you are ready for marriage or not? It's a taboo. So we need, it's a taboo in our African culture. Yeah, but if For those who are privileged, who have open relationships with their parents, you are actually able to ask them. Because your parents actually they knows how faithful you are to bond duties and all that. And they have also taught you, especially if you are privileged with Christian parents, they started training you from a very young age. So you can ask, or those who are advanced, maybe the elderly in church, you can ask if they think you are ready for marriage. Now, if the answer is yes, the Lord says it's fine, I'm calling you to marry, then you need to pray to God for your partner. We don't go and choose for ourselves. Who gives? Isn't it? It's God who gives. Can we read Genesis 2 verse 18?
2:18.
Yes.
And the Lord God said, it is not good that the man should be alone. I will make him a help meet for him.
Okay. So we see here that God is saying it's not good that the man should be alone. So it's God who made Eve for Adam, isn't it? So it's God who gives us. So we need to pray to God that the Lord will give us the person whom He has for us. We must not go and look and choose for ourselves, but we need to pray to God. We are not told more about in the case of Rebecca, but maybe she was also praying, and when the servant came, it was an answer to prayer. She trusted in God. So we need to pray that God will give us a partner, not just going and looking for ourselves. Now, what are they? Now, these are the main steps, 3 steps. So there's courtship, there's engagement, and then there's marriage. So, what is courtship? Can someone tell us what's your understanding of courtship?
Yeah, courtship, my own understanding, I understand that it's a period whereby now these two individuals, they identify themselves. They are now to know each other better, to lead to engagement and marriage. And I believe it's a period whereby it's actually supposed to be starting from home. A boy telling his parent that, Daddy, I think I am no longer wanting to be addressed as a boy but as a man. You think I'm ready and all that? Then they can say, yeah, or you can grow up again. And for a girl whereby she will say, okay, there is this serious man or boy who wants to become a man and next week a woman. Yeah, so it's a period.
Thank you, Sister Lydia. Who else wants to try? We have been talking about courtship. Even some of us have attended several courtship seminars. So what do we understand? We always hear they are in courtship, a courtship. So, what does that mean? What's your understanding? Someone wants to try? What's courtship? What's your understanding of courtship? Is it your first time to hear that word? No. Okay, but we cannot just explain it. Mr. Elsie, I think you want to try.
Okay, courtship, I'll say it's a friendship or a relationship between two people with the aim of getting married, who make God the center of their relationship and with the guidance of godly parents.
And what's engagement? Before we look at my definition.
Engagement. Now these people that are serious, they now come to realize that indeed, yes, they can build a home together and they can live it according to God's principle rightfully. Yeah, so it's a period now the feminists are to also say yes, they can go ahead and become a family.
Thank you. And marriage? What's marriage? I think that one we all know. Now, who wants to try?
She needs someone to explain to her very well. I don't think she's getting really wrong.
So can speak for today.
Julia.
You are not explaining.
I can't speak Portuguese.
So she's not, okay, yes. So she's not getting what you are explaining.
No, we're trying, but not the way we are getting it. No, I'm secondary person now. The way I'm giving it is not the way I'm
But
giving it.
she's getting. So ask her to tell us what's marriage.
Casamento é a união de duas pessoas.
Is one union of a union of two people
Com os mesmos objetivos, né?
with the people with the same objective.
E tem como o seu centro Deus primeiro.
Those people who take Christ as the center, with Christ as their first priority.
Eu queria só falar naquele ponto dos jovens, antes do namoro,
You want to talk about courtship,
antes de qualquer pessoa chegar nela, por exemplo, nas meninas.
or you want to talk about before courtship.
Nós temos às vezes um vazio no coração. Não temos um vazio no coração. Vazio é tipo, no coração fica tipo, tá precisando de algo.
The way of that thing in the heart whereby you need someone.
Esse é um perigo para os solteiros. A Julia não é gaturudo.
See, that's what I'm saying. I don't think we do this.
No, chama João then I will translate.
Ame mashuambo. Perigo. Aí estraguei mashuambo. Mangaturi kunyasha itu. While we are still opena shike upchakaje, I think no upchakaje mos. Atuangi kama upchakaje. Atuangi kama upchakaje, no wala. We face challenges. Wakukarata fa kontima waitu. Kuna nerea pungasha mos.
Where we find that a space, that our heart is a space that needs to be filled.
Pendo nerea pungasha, otwara tukutura koshimo kotu dena.
We want to feel it in order to feel good.
Kwa hivyo oshama ne waimo hombo posi popo no turako shave mwene wale ke paya shange no.
If you enter marriage wanting that space to be filled by the marriage and not feeling will not fulfill your desires. You should be whole already. No, I understand what you said.
I feel like not speaking the way she wants to say.
But I understand what she means.
No, she's talking about understand. I say if you go speak in Portuguese, you say it.
But I understand.
Isita plongwe lukadona ongeno mage no mono matimos ukayo afa ugui wana panata tekalunga.
Amen.
Con kimaina kukala kwa fa kuno nerea pungas.
Yes. Like what she wants to tell the girls, the ladies, is that prior to entering marriage, you should already be holding God. You mustn't enter marriage feeling that you need something or space to be filled by the marriage. You should already enter it whole.
You should not be lonely to get married. Yeah.
No, I think that's a critical point which she brought. Don't go to marriage because you are looking for something. So you need to be willing that preparation starts now. now, isn't it? So you must already have a relationship with God. You are already with God. You must be whole already. Don't wait until you are in the marriage. You know, to feel maybe the voice of loneliness which you are feeling. That should not be the objective. So it's a very important point which she brought up. So courtship, according to this definition, is a sincere effort of two to find out if it's God's will for them to be married. So it's an effort, a sincere effort of two to find out if it's God's will for them to be married. So you are in a courtship, in the intention of finding out if it's God's will, because this is where you need to examine the characters of each other. If it happens that you realize that it's not God's will, you are able to end the courtship, isn't it? That's why the reserve and modesty is very critical, because you are not yet married and there's no guarantee. As much as this is serious, because we are going to learn the step, you need to inform parents, isn't it? It's also serious, but you are just there to learn, to ask yourself, is it God's will, to find out if it's God's will for you to be married. So you need to maintain that distance. Don't open yourself too easily to the other person. Don't open your heart like all of it to the other person. Because you don't know it can end. These things of calling each other names when we are courting is actually not right. So how many people have been in courtships and you start calling each other baby, sweetheart, those things, and then it ends. So how many people are going to call those names? And remember, everything we do, our words are recorded and all that. So as much as it is serious, we must not be too close. We must not open ourselves too much, because we are there to learn. Is it God's will? Just like anything which you have to do, maybe you need to purchase a property. Before you purchase that property, you need to ask God, is it right for me to purchase this property? So you pray, you ask the Lord. If the Lord says it's okay, then you go ahead. So you don't start investing too much before you know whether it's God's will, because you are going to lose out. So it's the same as a courtship. So you are just there to find out, is it God's will? So you in a friendship, you start each other's characters, but don't open yourself too much. So this is the examination phase. And if parties realize that it's not God's will for them to be married, the courtship can be broken. So this is not engagement. I think sometimes the way we view courtship is as if you are already engaged. At times it's as if you are already married. I mean, you go to even church, you see some people who are in a courtship, the way they sit too close to each other, even more close than those who are married. They are even putting their arms around. Now you wonder, you are like, what's this? What if now that courtship ends? If it's not God's will, it ends, then tomorrow it's another person. So this is really it's a sad situation. And for us who are here, we are privileged because we are learning about these things. And engagement, this is the next step after courtship. If after the courtship we have prayed, we have studied the characters of each other, and we realize that it's God's will, this is where you take another step. This is when now you inform your parents, inform your friends that you are going to get married. So this is more serious compared to courtship. Courtship is also serious because you can't just get into a courtship with anyone, isn't it? There must be an indication that this may be the one. So you get there so that you can learn, is it really your will or not? So a courtship is also serious. We don't just court anyone. We must have an indication that that person could be the one. So you enter there to pray and ask, is it God's will? Now engagement, this is where you are sure that this is the person for you. So you inform your parents, you inform your family and friends about your decision to marry. So this should only be done if the parties are confident that this is God's will for them. So if there's no question marks, you are all confident that this is the person for me, then you go ahead and you engage. But if when you are in the engagement, then you discover that you made a mistake and it's not God's will, there too you can still break that engagement. The Spirit of prophecy tells us that you need to humbly request for forgiveness from God, and you need to inform your parents, obviously, because you have already informed them that you are engaging this person. So this is not the end of the world. If you discover after engagement that this is not the person, this is not going to work, this may marriage is not going to make me, you are able to break that engagement. But I think we really have broken engagements. This is just to highlight that if you are there and you realize that this partner is not right, maybe you did not know that he drinks alcohol, then you find out that this person is drinking alcohol. We are told in the spirit of prophecy that you must not take anyone, you must not accept anyone who takes even just a glass of alcohol. So if you find out that this person is doing something contrary to the Bible, you are able to break it. It's something you did not know, you find out after you are engaged, so you can break it, because if you go, that marriage is not reaching you anyone. Now marriage is the final step. This is where you are now joined together as one. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, and they shall be one flesh. This is what I call a point of no return. Because once you are in a marriage, you are there for life. It's till death do you part, isn't it? So this is now more serious. So all the learning, the examination should actually be done prior to marriage. You cannot go and start examining the person while you are in the marriage, because then you are already married. You cannot just leave that home. If you, you can come for advice before when you are in courtship engagement, but when you are in a marriage and there are problems, you come to us. We are just going to encourage you to stay on and pray for you. Isn't it? So these two are actually very critical before you get to marriage. And I need to mention here that marriage is not a joke. I think sometimes the way we look at it as very light, it's very simple. For me, I'll give an example. Before I got married, I'm someone who was very scared of marriage. I was very scared because I know once you are there, it's a done deal. You know, it's fine now. It's a point of no return. You can't return anymore. So that's why you need to be 100% sure. Is it God's will for you to be there? And if you are 100% sure and the Lord is leading you, it does not mean everything will be perfect. You may have some challenges here and there, but because God put you there, and you also know love is a principle. You are going to, and you are both obedient to the Lord. It's going to win. You are going to get it. So happiness in marriage is also what you actually make it to be. If you want to be happy, you'll be happy. If not, you will not be. So this is very serious. Marriage is very serious. So the first two, they are very critical. We really need to examine carefully. That is the same thing to them. So we are going to talk a bit more about courtship. So courtship, we have already said, is a sincere effort of God to find out if it's God's will for them to be married. So this is a critical step before the marriage, and many questions have to be settled. This is the examination phase. You are there, you are with that person. This is where you get to ask questions. Don't reserve those questions for marriage. They need to be asked now when you are courting. So a courtship is basically a relationship of interest. It's meant to lead to engagement and marriage. So when you are courting, there's no clear view when the two are going to be. And there's even no clear view whether, of course, your objective is for it to lead to marriage, isn't it? But anything can happen. To inquire, is it God's will for the two of you to be married? So here, you don't know when the marriage is going to be. So families are also not aware of a clear intent to marry. So you must not make a mistake when the brother goes to your parents to say, I'm going to marry this person. The brother has to go to the parents to inform them that I want to be a friend of this person. It's not an engagement, so it must be clear. It's just to inform them that I want to be a friend of this person, to learn if it's God's will for us to be married. So it's not an engagement. So the families are not aware of a clear intent of marriage. Okay, so that one must be clear. A question?
I want to ask. So in a courtship, parents are supposed to be involved, but just to know your friends.
Yes, you inform them that you want to be a friend to their daughter with the intention, to ask whether it's God's will for you guys to be married. So it needs to be clear. You are not telling them that I'm going to marry your daughter. So you seek for their permission to befriend their daughter. Yes. So it needs to be clear. You don't tell, he doesn't tell them that he's going to marry you, but he's seeking for permission to be your friend so that you can learn about each other. Okay? So there are steps to courtship which must be taken. The first one is the one which we have mentioned. You need to seek for permission from parents. So this is from Spirit of Prophecy, where we are told, honor thy father and thy mother, that thy days may be long upon the land which the Lord thy God giveth. Should a son or daughter select a companion without first consulting the parents, when such a step must materially affect the happiness of parents, if they have any affection for their children. And should that child, notwithstanding the counsel and entreaties of his parents, persist in following his own course, so this is the way it should be done. We cannot just take you and start becoming your friend without your parents knowing. So your parents must be informed. So if your brother approaches you, you need to tell him, go first to my parents and inform them.
What if the courtship doesn't work?
Yes. That's how it's
What if the courtship doesn't work?
Of course, you inform them that you are entering into a courtship, you want to be friend with them, their daughter, to find out if it's God's will for you. So there's an if. It's not a must that it must work.
Then you introduce the next one also if it doesn't work.
Definitely, but when you enter into it, remember the Lord prayer, the Lord is leading you there. So if you are really sincere and the Lord is leading you, most likely you are going to end up in very difficult. So you should not just take anyone. This is where you have prayed and the Lord is leading you that this is the person. So that person can go and ask before you start courting. So you don't just take anyone. I think the mistake is that we like to choose for ourselves. You see this face, you see this person, and you accept, or the brother approaches, and then again someone else comes, and you choose the other person. I think that's the problem we have to do. So if the Lord is leading you to that person, most likely it's going to end up in marriage. Is your question answered? Yes.
I just, maybe are we going to discuss how, maybe this is also from person to person how God answers. But some answers are confusing. Sometimes you don't know if now did God say yes, am I sure? You don't know how does God? It can be very confusing.
Okay. So marriage is something very serious, and when you are in that situation, you can actually.
What's the question? How sure are you when God has said? How can you be sure that God has said yes? In what type of ways does God actually tell us? I know He gives dreams and things, but sometimes it can be a bit confusing. How can you be certain? Because maybe you just dream of someone just because you were thinking about them. How sure can we be that dream was a confirmation from God?
I'll just try to answer. Not to the answer. It's the only answer.
Just trying to answer. Yeah. Actually, God answers prayers according to your relationship with Him. How just exactly as how He answered you in all other ways. It's the same way to answer you regarding your marriage. If He answers you through people, He will still use the people. And if He answers you straight, hearing His voice, He will still answer you, hearing His voice. If it's a dream, He will still give you a dream of that. And it will be, when God answers, there's no such thing of doubt. Just how He answers you if you pray that, Lord, I want a job. And then He say, okay, there will be a job somewhere. Go and apply. And you know for sure that was God's voice. The same voice that you had at the time. It's the same voice that you should be waiting for. And most of the time what happens is that most of the time we are so desperate. We are desperate that some people, you have a relationship with God that says, God, if it's your will, turn this water to be blue. And you know that there's a relationship you have with God. And when it comes to your marriage, do this. You are looking at your age. You are looking at your age mate getting married. And the same prayer request you asked for God to turn the water to blue. And you see that you are turning 50 and not yet married. Then you say, I think I should change a prayer request. I will say the one who meets me today should be my husband. Yes, so really we need to maintain the relationship we have with God.
Okay. Okay, I just want to
maybe a testimony will also help. Like, how did you know who was the one?
Genesis chapter 24. Watu wangu oshamano atuma akatara mkurukazi. If you go back to the chapter, yeah, ukukuwa lolo nokumona ndu bakanga tanya mukula.
Okay, sorry. She's saying she referred us back to the verse we read in Genesis. Yeah, she's answering me.
Yeah, on Shamanoa or Kataro,
yeah, it is Genesis.
On Shamanoa Katatomoka,
The man who was sent the girl was not told where the girl is from which house. She was only informed of which side or which direction he must go. But when he arrived there, as we are looking at verse 14, chapter 34. Yeah. The men arrived at the well. He didn't arrive and say, let me look for the most beautiful one, or so he or the dress, or who dress. So he decided to make his choice based on the characteristics of them. There were a lot of ladies that arrived at the well. He spoke to each of them and saw their character. For him to choose Rebecca, it was in the name of her character and her answers, her responses.
Yeah.
He saw that in the manner that Rebecca answered it, she was raised to be a God-fearing woman. She was definitely house material, and she could take care of her home, and she was ready for marriage. God also showed us in His Word the characteristics that we should look for in a person that we desire to marry.
Yeah,
So it's wrong to wonder within yourself, is this the right person that God is because our ideas can be mismatching with what God will do.
Itoti omacho ai pendugana na ndokuli ndaji mostrita omacho au fanagana ndokuli ilongeipi oyo.
For example, you entering the street and the first man that you see is okay, it's going to be the one like you praying for such a prayer like Recipient said.
Yeah,
no, I understand. We should be very careful as we so we must pray is the most important. God knows where we are, where we came from, and where we are going. As long as we follow Him to know His will and what's not His will.
Yeah, that's powerful. Okay, I'll give a testimony. Requested later on. So the first step is seeking permission from parents. We must not forget, if a brother ask him to go to your parents. He must inform his parents and he must go to your parents before we start relationship. So that's the first step. As much as it can be difficult, but if you are a sincere Christian, you want to do what God wants you to do, what God tells you to do. So this must be the first step. Your parents must be informed.
Is that not a bit like tricky? Because let me say a brother approached me. He told me like, no, he likes me. It's a sister on the side of the sisters now. He comes, he tells me, then I ask him to go to my parents. Or we go to my parents. Then maybe after, okay, like it's our parents now, it's our tribe. After 1 month, I found out that no, this is not the person. And again, another one comes.
No, like we said, when you are accepting that you should go to your parents, you have also prayed. You can ask for time. If he asks you, you say, okay, let's give ourselves to prayer to see if the Lord is leading us into this. So when you are accepting, you are already having an indication that He could be one. You already have an indication. So when you enter that courtship, that's where you are just seeking to confirm or to determine that is it your will or not for us to be united in marriage. So you don't just accept any proposal. You need to have an indication that that person is the one. And in most cases, if you are a sincere Christian, he is also a sincere. So you don't just accept anyone, only if the Lord is leading you to that.
Yeah, I just wanted to add what you said, that it's not just every man that comes, and it's not every time that a man comes, you know you are not ready for a marriage, and you already say, can you, what is your parents saying? Did you ask your parents? Then the person say yes or no, then you say, okay, let's do the step of seeking parents' permission. If you know that you are not ready for marriage, already say on the spot that no, don't even in that thing. Just tell the person that, you know what, my brother, you are a good person, but at this period of time, no. I can't even entertain it for us to hold for 5 years while I'm getting ready. Cut it off.
So if you are not ready, you are also not ready. We are going to learn that only those who are ready to marry must enter into a courtship. So this person must already have his house, he must already be working, or he having some kind of business. Or else how is he going to support you? So if this person is still a student, he's a first year at UNAMI, how long are you going to court to grow old? So that coaching is really into marriage. Only people who must court are only those who are ready to marry. If the brother is not ready to marry, and you know this brother is just a first year, second year, he's not able to support you, say no. Okay, wait. If it's possible, when the time is right, you are going to enter into that courtship. But you don't enter into a courtship if the person is not ready. So the second step is to double your prayers. You need to double your prayers. She asked, how do you know it is the one? So we are told in Adventist 71, paragraph 1, if men and women are in the habit of praying twice a day before they contemplate marriage, they should pray 4 times a day when such a step is anticipated. So you need to now double, you need to pray more. I also wanted to just read something in the book of Desire of Ages, something which you can add to this one. Desire of Ages, page 278. This is where the disciples of John came to Christ and they asked him, how come your disciples were not fasting? So I'm reading the last part where Desire of Ages, disciples of John. Yes. So the last part, page 278 says, yet days of temptation and trial would come when they would be brought into conflict with the rulers of this world. And the leaders of the kingdom of darkness, when Christ was not personally with them, and they failed to discern the comforter, then it would be more fitting for them to fast. So when we are in that time of temptation or trial, even that time when you need to make a decision and we are not, this is where we can actually fast and ask for God's guidance. So we double our prayer, we can also fast because this is a serious thing. So we can also fast about it for us to be sure is this the one, is this the right one. So we can do that. Now the third step, this is where now you have prayed, you have informed your parents, you have prayed, and the Lord is saying, yes, you can go ahead. This is where now you need to critically examine. Now you are a friend that person, your parents are aware. So you need to critically examine. So this is something from Minister of Healing. The Council from Minister of Healing which says, let those who are contemplating marriage weigh every sentiment and watch every development of character in the one with whom they peace unite their lives history. Let every step toward a marriage alliance be characterized by modesty, simplicity, sincerity, and an earnest purpose to please and honor God. Marriage affects the afterlife both in this world and in the world to come. A sincere Christian will make no claims that God cannot approve. So that's the stage where we critically examine. You are now in a courtship with this person. So you need to watch every development. So here we are saying you need to weigh every sentiment, whatever the person is doing, you need to watch every development of character in that person. If you say something wrong, you will know that that marriage or that person is not the right one. You are able to get a courtship. There's actually someone we cancel. The sister doing a courtship, and later they realized that this person would not be the correct person, and she actually, she stuck on that writing there, which says you need to weigh every sentiment and every development of character. So if something is wrong, it does not mean I must proceed. I will not proceed to this. And she ended the courtship because she would see things which were not right with the brother. So this is where you critically examine that person, and if you see something wrong, you can actually end that courtship. So the step you are about to take is one of the most important in your life and should not be taken hastily. While you may love, do not love blindly. So the step of marriage or marriage is actually one of the most important steps in your life because it will affect your afterlife after you are married, both in this life and in the life to come. So you should not take it hastily. You should not be quick to just go and marry. You need to think about it. What does it mean? What are the implications? So you really need to think about that. So what are the questions which you need to ask when you are in that courtship? You must ask yourself, will this union help me heavenward? Will it increase my love for God? So these are the questions you must ask as you are with that person. Are you going to be helped heavenward? Will it increase your love for God? Will it enlarge my sphere of usefulness in this life? So if after you reflect on those questions, there's no drawback, then the spirit of inspiration tells us, then in the fear of the Lord, move forward. So if you answer the first question, will this union help me heavenward? If the answer is yes, then you go to the next one. Will it increase your love for God? Because obviously you see, what is this person involved in? Does he love religious activities? What occupies him? And if you see that this person is maybe just watching sports when he is free, so already you see that it's not leading anywhere. It's not going to increase your love for God. But if this person loves to pray, he loves to study and all that, then you can see that, okay, this person has a love for God. And if that person has a love for God, then obviously you will also be helped in that union. So you ask yourself, and if after you make those reflections and there's no drawback, then you can move forward.
I don't understand that third point.
Okay, so when you get married, you are actually starting a family ministry. So when you are in that marriage, will you be able to assist others? Will you be able to do what God is calling you to do? Because obviously there are some men who are dictatorial, they just want to control you, but the Lord tells us that you need to preserve your individuality. So you must still be useful. You need to be useful to your fellow human beings. You need to assist the way you can. So you need to ask yourself, if it's going to enlarge your sphere of usefulness in other ways, will you still be able to help those who are in need if you are with that person? So it's about controlling. If you can see already in the courtship that the person is controlling, doesn't want you to talk to other brothers, he wants to just control everything you do, then you know that you will not be able to, you are not going to be yourself. You need to just follow that person, isn't it? So you need to be able to preserve your individuality when you are in that courtship. And when you get there, you are starting a family ministry. So as a family, you'll be doing some kind of ministry. So you are enlarging the sphere of usefulness. So there are some more questions which you need to ask. It's also from, we are just reading from Spirit of Inspiration. So before giving the hand in marriage, every woman should inquire, is he worthy? So you need to inquire in that case if the person is worthy. What has been his past record? Obviously there are people who know him, maybe you do not know the person. So before you just accept that person, you can inquire, is this person worthy? What has been his past record? Is his life pure? How does he live his life? You can inquire, and some honest people are going to give you honest answers, which will help you to make a decision. Is the love which he expresses of a noble, elevated character, or is it a mere emotional fondness? So you ask yourself, I mean, when you are in a courtship, you obviously see. When you are sitting with the person, does he want to put his arm around you? You are not married, you are in courtship. So those things should open your eyes that this could be passion, this might not be pure love. Because when you are in a courtship, you must maintain a degree of reserve. We read Rebecca, she put a veil to maintain that reserve. So the veil was only taken off after when they got married. So you watch, how does the person approach you when you are together? What is it that he does? What's his character? So you'll be able to see. So maybe, some youth, they even want to kiss. You are not married, you are just courting. So if he does that, it must already open your eyes that this person is not pure. He will not be pure. So you cannot expect such things from you. Such things are only to be done in marriage. Okay? Has he the traits of character that will make him happy? So you look at him, you are courting, is his traits of character, will you be happy with that person? Can you find true peace and joy in his affection? Or maybe he's someone who is with you, tomorrow he's with that person, or he's unresolved, he's changing and all that. So you need to ask those questions. Will you be allowed to preserve your individuality, or must your judgment and conscience be surrendered to the control of your husband? This is like the other one we explained now. So you need to be able to preserve your individuality. Of course, you are joining together as one, but you are still individuals, and the Lord has a purpose for each one of you. So no one will come and tell you this is what you must do. You are accountable to God first. Because the Bible tells us you submit to your husbands in the Lord. So only in the Lord. Can she honor the Savior's claims as supreme? So will he allow you, if the Lord is telling you, go and pray for that person, and will this person say, no, but Why do you have to go now and all that? Will he discourage you? Because the serious claims are still supreme, and he still has a way for you to do as an individual. He has a way for you also. He's having a way for you to do. Will bodies and soul, thoughts and purposes be preserved pure and holy? So these are some of the questions you need to ask yourself when they are implemented. Okay, so this one says, let the woman who desires a peaceful, happy union, who would escape future misery and sorrow, inquire before she yields her affections. So before you give yourself to that person, before you yield your affection, you need to inquire. If you are to escape future misery and sorrow, and I'm telling you there are marriages which are very miserable, mostly because people did not follow the counsel of the Lord. I'll give also an example of one sister who was to marry. Of course, she was marrying someone who was not from the Adventist faith. It was someone outside the faith, and we told her that that's not right. The Bible is clear. We are told do not be equally yoked with unbelievers. Persisted. She was like, no, he's a good man. So she persisted until she told us, but the Lord was giving him a chance. Each time we had to do the marriage, it's like there was something, so it had to be postponed and postponed. We told her the Lord is giving you a chance to get out of this before it's too late. Until she told us, no, it's you people who are praying. Stop praying for me. Things are not working because you are praying. So please don't pray for me. She told us, so okay, fine. And okay, the Lord was merciful because he also showed me in a dream about the character of that person. When I had that dream, I was like, should I tell you? Okay, that time I did not even know who this person is. You just see the person. You don't know whether it is really his character. So I was shown that this is the person. And I actually planned not to tell him. I told my husband, but then because she was too happy and I did not know that they were already having challenges in their, I'll say it's dating because this was not an Adventist. But the Lord provided an opportunity where we started talking, and I related to her. She kept quiet. I think 2 days later she came and she told me that, yeah, no, things are not okay. We have this and this challenge. That's what I was shown in the dream. But still, it was after that dream that she said, it's you people who are praying. Stop praying for me. Things are not working because you are praying. So of course we continued, but she went because she was headstrong. She wanted her way. Of course you could see it was not God's will, but she just wanted to get there. She got married, and not even a month she almost went to got sick. Yes, the marriage was very miserable until they ended up in a divorce. So yes, so that's what happens when you want to choose for yourself. So you need to allow the Lord to choose for you if you are to have a peaceful and happy union. And if you are to escape the future misery and sorrow. Okay. So these are some of the inquiries you need to make. As my lover and mother, what is the stamp of her character? Does he recognize his obligations to her? If he does not respect and honor his mother, will he manifest respect and kindness and attention toward his wife? So if this person is just, the person is probably working, he's not even supporting his mother. He's just spending his money on himself, and you are aware of that. How is he going to support you? So clearly that shows you that this person is selfish. So you need to ask, does he have a mother? How does he treat the mother? Does he respect his mother? If he does not respect the mother, then that's clear that he's also not going to respect you. So if he does not respect and honor his mother, will he manifest respect and love and kindness and attention towards his wife? When the novelty of marriage is over, will he love you still? Because when you get married, sometimes people are excited and all that. Now when that excitement dies off, is he going to continue loving you? That's the question. Will he be patient with your mistakes? Remember when you are entering, you have prepared as much as you can, but you are not perfect. So is he going to be patient with your mistakes? You make mistakes. Or will he be critical, overbearing, and dictatorial? Like, will he want to control you? Through affection, will overlook many mistakes, love will not deceive them all. So these are some of the questions you need to ask. Find out, is he having a father, where is his mother, how does he treat the mother, and all that. So that will give you a clear indication of how he's going to treat you when you are in the marriage. So what are the qualities to be sought for in a prospective husband? Let a young woman accept as a life companion only one who possesses pure, manly traits of character, one who is diligent, aspiring, and honest, one who loves God. So you need to shun those who are irrelevant, shun one who is a lover, and like this person is just sitting, perhaps you get a chance to go in the company of others to see his house. But when you are courting, you must not be in company. You must not be in company just the two of you. If you would like to go to see him, because we are told we need to shun the appearance of all evil. So if you are seeing the two of you and you are going to his house or you are in his house, what are people going to think? And you are Christians. So you need to shun the appearance of all evil. So maybe it happens that you go with someone, you have to get something, his house is just dirty and all that. So meaning, the question should come, maybe that person is the love of arguments. Why can't he clean his house? He's not yet married. You need to do some of the ways. So these are some of the things which you need to look at. So we are also told you need to shun the one who is a spotter of hallowed things. Avoid the society of one who uses profane language. You hear from the way he's talking. If he's not talking right, the words are not right, then you don't want to be in the society of such a person. Or if he's addicted to the use of even one glass of liquor, you say, no, he does not drink, just occasionally when there's a birthday or whatever. I know we don't celebrate such things, but yes. So if he's taking even just one glass, don't say he's taking just one glass. That's an indication that that one, you should not choose that person. Listen not to the proposals of a man who has no realization of his responsibility to God. So this is also similar to the one where you are told, do not be unequally yoked. So if this person does not realize that he has a responsibility to God, then it's a no, we should not even entertain it. So no man is excusable for being without financial ability. Of many, a man, it may be said, he is kind, amiable, generous, a good man, a Christian, but he is not qualified to manage his own business. As far as the outlay of means is concerned, he is a mere child. He has not been brought up by his parents to understand and to practice the principles of self-support. So if a person is a man, no one is excusable for the without financial ability. If you are not working, you are able to engage in self-supporting businesses and all that for you to get.
What book is that one?
This is Adventist Home. Adventist Home. So even if a person is kind, is generous, is a good man, is a Christian, but if he does not have financial ability, then it's a no one.
Financial
ability. He's not able to get financial means. We learn that only those who are able to be married should actually enter into a courtship. So we are going to now look at the preparation. So what is it that you must learn before you even enter? We learned that Rebecca was prepared before she even got married. So this is the time, if it's the Lord's will for us to marry, this is the time for us to prepare. So what are the things we need to learn before we get to that stage? Okay, so we need, this is also from Adventist Home, so we need to have a knowledge of the duties of a practical domestic life. So a woman must know what are the duties involved in the home. When you wake up, what do you do? You need to clean, make sure the house is clean, the bed is made, you need to cook, you need to look after the children and all that. So these things, we need to start learning them already now. And as you are going to be parents, you also need to teach your children these things. So you learn now, and when you are in that situation, you start teaching your children. I think I need to mention that you see Adela, the young girl, she can cook even pap. She started washing dishes at 4 years already. Yeah, so we need to we need to start, we need to learn these things, and if we have the Lord blesses us with children, we need to actually start training them for those duties, so that when the time for them to get married comes, they are already prepared. So we are not supposed to start preparation when you are getting into a courtship. So the preparation must be done now where we are. We need to be faithful to the home duties, wherever we find ourselves. We must be faithful, we must do what is required of us. If you see something, the kitchen is dirty, you don't need to wait for your mother or your auntie or whoever to tell you, but you yourself, if you see, you know that those are the domestic duties which you need to do as a woman. So just take an initiative and do it. So you need to have a thorough knowledge of domestic duties, domestic labor. Is no more there, at least you are able to make clothes for money. You are able to do something for living. So we need to learn these skills which can help us. Okay. So women should be trained to some business whereby she can gain livelihood if necessary. Passing over other honorary employments, every girl should learn to take charge of the domestic affairs of home. Should be a cook, a housekeeper, a seamstress. So you see the key word there. Every girl should. So it's not saying just some girls. It's saying every girl. So if you are a girl, you are included there. You should be a cook. You should be a housekeeper, you should be a seamstress. In other words, you must learn how to sew. So this is the spirit of inspiration. So you are encouraged, all of you, if you are a girl, you need to learn those things. Not just leave it to others, but you need to take initiative and learn those things. It's not so important that our daughters learn painting, fancy work, music, or even embroidery, or the figures of rhetoric, that they learn how to cut, make, and mend their own clothing, or to prepare food in a wholesome and palatable manner. So of course you can learn music, you can learn fancy work, painting and all those things, but what's more important is actually that you learn how to make your clothes. That one is more important. Or prepare food in a awesome and palatable manner. So the last part there says idleness is a sin and ignorance of common duties is a result of folly, which after life will give ample occasion for bitter regret. You know, sometimes when we get married, we think we'll just be there, just doing nothing. We are going to have maids to do things for you. But here we are learning that idleness is a sin. So if you see something else to be done and you are just there, you cannot do it, you are lazy, you are just idle. That's a sin. That's the spirit of inspiration. Now, there are some things which are prohibited when you are coding. We just want to look at those things. That's why I put that one there. Things which you must not engage in when you are doing coding. Okay. So violating the rules of modesty and reserve. The parties frequently violate the rules of modesty and reserve and are guilty of indiscretion if they do not violate the law of God. So if you do not go ahead and violate the law of God, it says do not commit adultery. You have already violated the rules of modesty and reserve. You have not reserved yourself. It's like you have opened yourself. You are too close to the other person and all that. So you are guilty of indiscretion if you do not violate the laws of God. We know about many of our sisters who have actually went and they got pregnant, but we thought they were both Christians. How did that happen? It's because of this reserve, because we are not maintaining that degree of simplicity, modesty, and reserve, which we are actually told to keep. Keeping late hours, the habit of sitting up late hours at night is customary, but it's not pleasing to God, even if you are both Christians. This is where you just want to be in the company of that person you are courting, and you are sitting at night with that person, just the two of you. So we are told that that's not pleasing to God. So we must not engage in such things where we keep late hours with that person. These untimely hours injure health, unfit the mind for the next day's duties, and have an appearance of evil. I think the keeping of late hours, we can also talk about phones. Like, you tell your parents you are going to your rooms, you are going to sleep, but you are just on the phone 2 hours with that person. So that one injures your health until you go to bed after 12. It injures your health and you are not fit for the next day's duties. So it's not healthful. So we must not engage in that things. So it's not just physical, but even talking or chatting, you are just chatting with that person at night. So that's also there. The principles of modesty must be maintained. When once the barriers of female modesty are removed, the basic licentiousness does not appear exceeding sinful. Those who would preserve physical health, a vigorous intellect, and sound morals must flee youth to lust. This is from Adventist Home 89, paragraph 1. So you need to maintain the principles of modesty. And so once you have removed the barriers of modesty, then even the basis, like the most sinful thing you can think of, it does not appear sinful anymore. Because once you start today, you just continue until you even end up getting pregnant. So it starts the first time, it may be, or maybe just putting his arm around you, the next is kissing, and you are also not saying no. So we need to maintain that modesty and reserve. The veil must be on until we are married. That's it. So now the choice of a life companion. You need a
questions. Ask questions.
Or you have questions?
Comments.
Okay.
For how long? Because courtship lasts.
How long should courtship last? Okay, there's no definite time from the spirit of inspiration, but we just need to, you can take your time so that you can learn about that person. But maybe perhaps you knew each other before and you get to the courtship. It's like this person, we're not courting before. Maybe you go to the same church. Maybe we're just friends general without thinking that you will marry that person. And then the Lord leads you in the courtship. You know that person. Yeah, that one could be shorter. There's no definite answer there where I can tell you 3 months or 6 months, but you just need to be confident. You can take your time. But what the spirit of prophecy says, hasty marriages should not be encouraged. So you are encouraged to take your time. But if it's someone whom you knew already before you started courting and then you start courting, maybe they will be shorter. Any other question? Or comment?
It's a question and a comment at the same time. There are those ladies, let me say, they grew up in homes, they were raised by fathers, for example. Okay? And then maybe they didn't get to learn from their mother's example. Yes, you will see go, but you will see from other people, or you know, maybe in the community there are other women or other elderly women who will teach you things. And then there are just sometimes in very important things that you need to know as a lady, that will teach you or prepare you now for those things. Now, I'm just saying that it's really good also sometimes to attend events such as this, so we get to learn a lot. Like, yeah, because especially those who are raised by fathers sometimes relate the qualities or the knowledge, the most important things we need to know as women. And then, yeah, I think I'm done. The question just went away.
No, that's very true. And there are some of those who unfortunately had to be sent away from the homes of their parents. Like at an early age, maybe there's a war in your country. I know there's someone, they had to go at a young age to another country, so they grew up without their parents, just in hostels, from maybe 3 years, 4 years, and all that. And yeah, the person was telling me it was difficult for her to even clean, because they are not taught. There are some things which we think are just natural, but in the hostel, there are people who are cleaning, who are doing all those things. So it's difficult for you to learn something. But when those people come now, when they come to church, those who are there, those who are older, equally able, they should assist. I mean, we are now growing, so when we see such, one day we will marry, we can assist such young people. If you are in such young people, you can be close to them and try to teach them some of the things. So there's a responsibility also on the mothers of the church to take those ones who were left, maybe their parents died when they were very small, or they are in a foreign country, their parents are not there, so there is a responsibility also on the mothers.
I want to ask before you go in engagement, they play something for us to check the past of the person. So the past, like, there are people, okay, our past life, I'm not telling about myself, I'm just talking in general. Maybe like we were not born and stuff like this. And before, okay, we were told the truth and maybe we misbehaved there. And then we came like to know the whole truth, what we're supposed to do, that doing this is wrong. And then we transform our life. So which past should we really focus there behind? Because our past, they are bad, some committed this, some did this, some did this. But then you can see that the person is transformed. So which thing should we really like? What am I supposed to know about the person's past? Because it's past, this is new life.
Okay, no, you learn, you ask, especially when the person became a Christian, what is past record? You will know, but that's why you just need more time maybe to get to know this person, to see is he really transformed. That's why you must not just rush into it, but it just means you must take more time to get to know that person.
Sorry, because I realized most of the time, let me say maybe a lady came to church, right? And then maybe in their past, they did some things. Let me say maybe they fell pregnant at an early age and they come in church. they feel judged sometimes, let me say. Because now, let me say now, probably will be saying, things like, what? Let me say they didn't get even let me say the training now, in other words, and then they end up doing things and everything, something like that. So now when they come in church, they feel judged, and they just leave the church. Not just, I don't know how to put it actually. Yeah, they feel judged, and they feel not. They don't feel what the words. Yeah, we don't. Yeah, they have this thing like they just feel like, okay, I'm not worth to be here. I'm not worth, because they feel like everyone else is perfect, but because of their past mistakes or their past something that happened, they feel like they don't, you know. And then they will just be like, okay, fine, maybe church or being an Adventist is just so difficult for me because I'm not, you know. Other people are so perfect, their lives are on track, but for me, mistakes happen, like they will feel like, maybe things happened for me in my life and everything, they'll just be like, okay, let me just, you know, live.
I think in that case, the responsibility of the one who knows the situation to actually engage them, befriend them, and try to explain to them that, I mean, we have done this wrong. But I mean, what sin can the blood of Jesus not cleanse us from? The blood of Jesus cleanses us from all unrighteousness. So you can befriend them and talk to them and tell them, we have done this wrong, but you can start again. You can start a new chapter again. And if they are praying and they are striving to overcome, they are going to reach to a stage where the Lord wants them to be in their Christianity. So it's the responsibility of those who are close, those who know the situation, to talk to them and tell them that there's still a chance. As long as you are alive, there's still a chance. And you must not look at others to say they are perfect. We also don't know what they are struggling with. So you have a responsibility if you know of such a case.
So because now this person will be like, no, I want to come to church, but I just have this thing that whenever maybe I'm around, the person will be like, whenever I'm around other people, I just feel like I don't fit in because, you know, yeah, that feeling it's just there. Like the person will be like, no, I can't stop it, but it's just there. So what do they do now? That is, you have a friend that is maybe experiencing that, or
in that case, I would really recommend that you become close to them, get close to them, pray with them and pray for them, because it's only God who is able to give them the correct thoughts and the correct views of themselves. So get close to them, pray for them and pray with them. That's what I would recommend in that case. Okay, so the choice of a life companion. So the choice of a life companion should be such as best to secure physical, mental, and spiritual well-being for parents and for their children, such as will enable both parents and children to bless their fellow men and to honor their Creator. So when you are choosing, it should be such as best to secure. If that person are going to help you to secure your physical, mental, and spiritual well-being for both yourselves, you and the partner and the children. And are you also going to be enabled to be a blessing to your fellow men? So those are some of the considerations we need to consider. And we already mentioned marriage with unbelievers is actually prohibited. Let me just read this one. I think I'm going to skip some slides. Marriage of Christians with unbelievers. The Lord commanded ancient Israel not to intermarry with the idolatrous nations around them. Neither shall thou make marriages with them. Thy daughter thou shalt not give unto a son, nor his daughter thou shalt not take unto thy son. For they will turn thy son from following me, that they may serve other gods. So will the anger of the Lord be kindled against you and destroy you suddenly. For thou art an holy people unto the Lord thy God. The Lord thy God has chosen thee to be a special people unto himself, above all people that are upon the face of the earth. So here we we are told that you should not marry unbelievers. So unbelievers means anyone who is not of your faith. So if this person could be a Christian but he's in the Catholic Church or another church, you don't have the same beliefs. You go to church, you observe the Sabbath day, you come to church on Sabbath, he's going on Sunday. So how will that home be? Because he also start telling you, no, I'm also respecting my, no, but for me my Sabbath is Sunday, so what will happen? So marriage with unbelievers is prohibited, and eventually you will find that one of you will be on the losing side and you need to follow the other. And in most cases it's the women, because the men will just do what they want. So marriage with unbelievers is a no-no. Okay, I'll just read this one. Those who possess the truth trample on the will of God in marrying unbelievers. They lose his favor and make bitter work for repentance. The unbelieving may possess an excellent moral character, but the fact that he or she has not answered the claims of God and has neglected so great salvation is sufficient reason why such a union should not be consummated. So you see this person, he's not coming to church, but you say, he's very good, he's generous, and he's all that. But here we are learning that the fact that he has not answered the claims of God, you should not entertain such a relationship. So marriage with unbelievers is a no-no. Then who should marry? So who should marry? Who have not the ability, or who should not marry? Those who have not the ability to control themselves, like self-control is very important. So if this person is not able to control himself, he should not marry. Not able to support a family. If he cannot support a family, he already learned, he's not working, he's not doing any business, then he cannot marry. How is he going to support his family? Or would you want someone who is just there and you must bring everything, give him everything? So if he's not able to support a family, you should not marry. And those who are not willing to adapt themselves to each other's disposition so as to avoid unpleasant differences in conditions. So you need to realize that when you get married, you are two people who are coming from two different backgrounds. You are coming from you are two different people. So when you come there, you are uniting as one, there will be differences. So how are you going to resolve those differences? Are you willing to adapt yourself to each other's disposition? Are you willing to let him have his way, or you just want your way? So those are some of the things. So if you are not willing, because when you enter there, you need to make some compromises. As long as it's not something which will prevent you from getting to heaven. If it's something which is not salvational, you can make compromises. Maybe, for example, he's saying, I need to buy this type of chairs. You want chairs of 20,000. You want chairs of 15,000. Say it's expensive. So both of you must be willing to understand what his reason. So one of you must be willing to understand his reasoning, and if you understand, then you agree on something. But don't just want to get your way, because you are not going to be happy in that marriage. So if you are not willing to make that compromise, as long as it's not salvational, then you cannot marry. You are not ready for marriage. So for the sisters, if you are not ready to compromise, then you are not ready. Work on that first before you can consider marriage. So when do we get counsel? When we get counsel from the Bible. We need to take God and our God-fearing parents into our counsel. So counsel is very important when you are considering such a step as marriage. We are almost at the end, then we are going to discuss. So an engagement, we already discussed. We won't go into details on this. This is the next step after courtship. This is where you make it official, or the parties make it official that they will marry. They inform their parents, family, and friends about their decision. And at engagement, this is where they can also determine the date on which they are going to marry, and they start with the planning and the arrangements. So can an engagement be broken? You already learned, yes, an engagement can be broken if when you are in a courtship you realize that it's not the Lord's will, you are still able to break that courtship. So this is the exhortation. It's about that. Now marriage, we all know what is marriage. So Christian marriage is a divinely sanctioned union between a believing man and a believing woman for the fulfillment of their mutual love, for mutual support, for shared happiness, and for the procreation and rearing of children who in turn become Christians. According to God's design, this union lasts until dissolved by the death of one of the partners. So it's God's design that this marriage should be until death do you part. It should only be dissolved when one partner dies. So this is God's design in marriage. That's why it's something we need to really think about it before we enter into it, because it's something very important and critical. So marriage affects the afterlife, both in this world and in the world to come. So it will affect how your life will be after you are married, both in this life and also in the life to come. If you marry wrongly, if you choose the wrong person, it can actually lead you to hell. It will not lead you to heaven. That's why we need to choose right. We need to choose a God-fearing partner who can help us to get into heaven. And a sincere Christian will make no claims that God cannot approve. So if you see that this person is not the right one, we need to end that courtship or the engagement. So if you are really a sincere Christian, you are not going to make claims which will know that God cannot approve. At times we will know that no, this person, something is wrong with this person, but we just want to have our way. And why so? It's because we are not sincere Christians. So we need to work on becoming sincere Christians, so that Christians who want to do the will of God. Okay. So what are the obligations in marriage? The wife should respect her husband. The wife should submit to her husband. Wife, submit your husband unto your own husband. Submit yourself unto your own husband as unto the Lord, for the husband is the head of the wife, even as Christ is the head of the church. Therefore, as the church is subject unto Christ, so let the wives be to their own husbands. So the husband is the head of the home. You know, there are some women who want to run homes. You go there, you want to be the child, you want to be the one with the final decision. But here we learn that we submit. Of course, it does not mean you don't advise your husband. You are his friend, you can advise him, but he has the final say. So we need to submit and we need to respect them. And the husband then is supposed to love and cherish his wife. So marriage is a subject of interest to many people. So we just want to know how many marriages are happy. What does the Spirit of Inspiration say? According to the world statistics, they say 50% of all marriages end up in divorce. So according to the world states, 50%. So if it is 100 marriages, or if there is 2 marriages, one is going to end up in a divorce. Now that 50%, some are just there, but are they happy? There's many which are not happy, though they do not divorce, but they are not happy. Okay, so how many are happy? I just want to read to see what the Spirit of Inspiration tells us. We are living in the last days when the mania, excessive desire upon the subject of marriage constitutes one of the signs of the near coming of Christ. God is not consulted in these matters. Religion, duty, and principles are sacrificed to carry out the promptings of the unconsecrated heart. There should be no great display and rejoicing over the union of the parties. This is where when people are getting married, the display is so much in rejoicing. They want a white wedding, spending so much money, but we are discouraged from that. There should be no great display and rejoicing over the union. So it should be quietly done if it's possible. There is not one married in 100 that results happy, that bears the sanction of God and places the parties in a position better to glorify God. So how many percent it is? How many marriages are happy according to this equation? How How many marry? 20%. No. Who wants to help us? What's the percentage? We are learning that there is not one marriage in 100 that without dating. That base function of God, it places the parties in a position better to define God. There's not one marriage. So 1 out of 100 is, what's the percentage? 1%. Yes, 1%. So only 1% of the marriages are happy. Only 1%, 99% are not happy. According to the world statistics, they say 50% end up in divorce, but the other 50%, they may not go in divorce, but how many are happy? How many are still married? They may be living together, but are they still married? They may not be married. So according to God is saying, only 1% of the marriages actually without happiness. Only 1%. That's why we need to choose correctly. We need to make the right decision when it comes to marriage, so that we can be in the 1%. We don't want to be in the 99%. So this is very serious. The evil consequences of poor marriages are numberless. They are contracted from impulse. A candid review of the matter is carefully thought of, and consultation with those of experience is considered old-fashioned. So when you are in the courtship or engagement or whatever, you don't want to consult those who are older, because it's considered old-fashioned, isn't it? Because at times you already know that this person is not right, and you know if I go to them, they are just going to confirm this, and you don't want them to do it, isn't it? So you just want to get your way, and that's the problem. You end up in the 99%. So this is from testimony 24. Okay, I think that's it. So any comments? Any comments or questions from what we have learned so far?
Get more about how you are financially supporting you.
Okay, the financial supporting is more on the man. He should be able to support you. You need to also be able to support him. You can learn industry, you can learn some business skills, so that if something happens whereby you find yourself alone, or he loses his job, you can still find him. So it's more on him. If he is not able to support you, then he should not be in a courtship. Any other question or comment? So what we have learned today is this the view we read about courtship and marriage? No.
Very disappointing.
It's difficult to true.
I think it also depends on people that, because courtship, for me, I just thought from courtship it's straight to marriage. When you are in a courtship, it's like you are preparing yourself for marriage. And then engagement, I know there's engagement, but I just know this engagement, like you are engaging today, you put on a ring, maybe next week you are getting married. So we really misunderstood the word courtship. Because courtship is almost like friendship.
Yes. And you also know courtships which have ended, isn't it? And it's mainly because they are not done after the order of God, the way they are actually entered into. It's just more like dating. There's no reserve, there's no modesty, the way it's done. But what we are learning is from the Bible, the spirit of inspiration on how it should be done. So this is the correct way of doing it. The ideas we get, I know it's a disappointment, but we have to share what the question.
When it comes to courtship, relationship now, it involves both families. So sometimes, okay, let me not only tribes also come, like to some parents. When you say, I found someone, he's a good person, he's a good parent, when you say it's a full package. But then, my family, there are going to be a problem there. When you say someone, maybe a Zimbabwean, they are going to say, no, this person is from far, what is this heaven, what is this, they are going, they give a lot of reasons just for them to reject that person. But then even you yourself, you can tell that, no, this person is from God. This is the thing I've been praying for. Should I go against them? Then in the Bible, in one of the commandments, like, must honor our parents. What to do with it?
I think in that case, you need to give yourself a fasting and prayer. You need to pray so that they can understand. You talk to them, explain to them. I'm sure later on they will be able to understand if the Spirit of the Lord comes upon them. So you need to fast and pray about it. If you know this is the Lord's will, so fast and pray about it and talk to them in a nice way. Explain, this person may not be of the same tribe, but I'm convicted that the Lord, this is the person the Lord is giving me. So eventually they will be able to understand. Any other question or comment?
I had a comment. It's actually testimony, not a someone's story who is married. They grew up from an Adventist home. Just the danger of apparently getting married. The danger of getting married to someone who is not Adventist. Like, yeah. So now she was telling me that she was just the way you said it. That it really, they are happy, they are fine, but then it's really how it affected her spirituality. Another way, she got married to a I think it's an evangelist or evangelical something. But now the kids, when now they have kids, the kids now belong to the father's religion, and she's, you know. But now when she goes to church, she keeps her religion, but it's just, she say it's just so hard to even convert her husband to be Adventist. So now, let me say the husband, they drink, they do all these things. And she's saying, I'm not even used to those things, but now I'm just trying to fit in. You see, trying to fit in just to follow him and just, you know, not to, because he will probably maybe feel like I'm condemning him or something like, no, don't do, you know. But now she's just also just following and doing what the husband does. Maybe drinking, you know, when they are drinking, she also have she's like, I don't want to drink sometimes, but I'll just have to, because sometimes he's with his friends and then he invites me as a wife, so, you know, yeah, so she's explaining to me now that it's really very difficult and it's not a good thing.
Yeah, no, those are the things we need to hear. We who are here so that we can make the right decision. Actually, most or all cases, if not all cases, if you marry someone who is an unbeliever, they will really lead you a long way. That's why they prohibited the ancient Israel from marrying people from other tribes or other nations. It's because of such things. It will really take you away from following the Lord. Any other contributions? Questions? Are we satisfied with the or it's hard to chew? It's hard to chew.
Just a general question. Like, okay, now we have the idea of how the relationships away, but now it is the right way. There are some people who are already are in the relationship. I don't know if it's called dating or courtship, I don't know, or whatever the relationship that they are having, but it's not, they don't start from the parents. What should they do?
I think in that case, they need to pray. If they see that the Lord is leading them there, that the person could be the right one, they can go back and start at step one, where they go and they form the parents so that they can do it properly. I mean, they have sinned against God, they have stolen each other, but they are able to start afresh to do it the right way. So they must pray. If they are convicted, we say you don't just take anyone. If you are convicted that that person is the right one, the Lord will, then you need to go and consult our parents to seek permission. But if you know there are already some questions or question marks, then you need to make a resolve to end that one because it's not easy. So there are some books which you can, before we finish, which you can read on. Books I will recommend. And this one, Ministry of Healing, chapter 29, I think it's called Home Builders. It talks more about the things we've spoken about. This book is $40. Yes, it's only $40. And it talks, this is actually a very good book. So it's having a chapter on these things we have discussed if you want to learn more. So I recommend this one. Then there's this one, Letters to Young Lovers, which is a compilation. You can also consider this one if you have. In the Adventist, so most of the materials are actually repeating. They are repeating Adventist from Letters to Young Lovers. You may find a bit more information, but if you have even one of them, it will help you to better understand this topic and messages to young people. So these are the books I highly recommend. Now, Ministry of Healing is not a compilation, so if you want something which is not a compilation, you can start with this one or get the other ones if you are able. So I highly recommend those books. I'll give my testimony at the end. We are almost done. So what's the ultimate purpose in courtship and marriage? So the ultimate purpose should be to please and to honor God. So Christian courtship and marriage, the ultimate purpose should be for you to please and to honor God. 1 Corinthians 10:31 says, whether therefore you eat or drink or whatsoever you do, do all to the glory of God. So whatever we do in our choice of companions, in our courtship, in our engagement, in our marriage, we must do everything to the glory of God. And Matthew 6:33 says, but seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things shall be added unto you. So the ultimate purpose is for you to please and honor God. So because if when you get married, you actually start a family ministry, which you are going to carry out with your spouse and the children. So yeah. So that was the last slide. So Susanna asked, Susanna asked a question, or she requested for a testimony on how to know if he is the one.
Before you continue, I have a question. I have seen courtship. There are brothers. I don't know if, okay, there's a verse. I don't, like women are not supposed to talk, like to open their mouth. So I've seen in courtship where brothers, they just want, it's not courtship because courtship related, where their definition is they are not one, okay. They just want to give orders. They just want to talk. If you stand up for yourself, they'll feel like, no, this is, I cannot be with the woman who talks too much. I cannot be with the woman who opens her mouth and then is talking. But sometimes, let me say someone is trying to say no. Let me say someone, okay, when it comes to, let me say to dress, you cannot force someone to dress the way. Dressing is from the heart. Now when you see someone dressing like she dressed like this skirt is a bit tight, then he's going to tell her, no, if that's what you are doing, you are not supposed to put on that. And then you tell them like, no, this is what I'm doing, it makes me feel happy. Those people, they will feel like you are insulting them. If you find yourself in a courtship with such person, is it wrong for a woman to stand up for herself?
I think it's two things in your question. The first thing is whereby this person wants to control you.
Yeah, he just wants to give you orders.
You are not yet married. We say a courtship, you are just trying to learn about each other, to know if it's God's will for you to be married. Don't your parents. So there should be no, if someone wants to come and already have that dictatorial spirit on you, then it means that you are not going, it's not going to allow you to present your individuality. So that's actually something which we really need to examine. I think that should be a no-no. If you see such signs, pray more about it. Ask the Lord, is he really the one? Because I mean, we can learn, it's a spirit of inspiration. we are told that no one should have a control over you. And in courtship, you are not married, you still belong to your parents, so you must not come and have control over you. But if it's the Lord's will for you to be in a courtship, as a sister also, you must not be proud. If he is telling you, we have advice on dress. We are having inspiration on dress. How should we dress? So if your brother is coming and telling you nicely that, okay, this is not according to the order of God, and he's reading, he's studying with you, this is how you should dress. Your heart must also be soft enough to listen and to obey what God is saying. So if he's proving to you, he's telling you that this is what the Lord is saying, you must not be proud, because if you talk and you say, this just makes me happy, because when you are in a courtship, it's not just about you. It's about pleasing and honoring God. So if he is telling you this does not please God, you must be willing enough to listen. So yeah, in that example, the sister also, because sometimes the sisters also are too proud. The brother is telling you this is what God is saying, but you just want to have your way. Then, he's also studying, isn't he? The brothers are also studying, he also knows what to look out for. So, for him also, you see that this is not the correct person. So, any other questions? No more questions? Or contributions? Okay. So how do you know? That he is the one? Susanna asked for a testimony. So for us, for me and my husband, I'll give a testimony. Before we started courting. Before we started courting, we actually knew each other from church and all that, but we were not, we're just friends, just in church, and we never thought that this is the person. Or I'm sure you also never thought that this would be the person, but you are just there, you worship together, you do activities together, but there was nothing like that. Then later on, as time went on, the Lord started revealing to us, like, I have dreams, I'm dreaming about him, he's taking care of me and all that. I was questioning, but why are these dreams coming, Why is this happening? And I had it more than once, like several times. I'm just having, and in all the dreams, he's just protecting me, and he's just there. So I'm like, no, but okay. We were not in a courtship. It's just someone in church that you just come here, you see this person, and you are seeing such things. Then we became friends. We were friends. Then later, as we started talking, as the Lord started leading us, just in our discussions, he mentioned that he has also dreamed about me. He mentioned that he had dreams about me, whereby we were together. I did not say anything at that point. I was just shocked. I was like, okay, what's this now? Yeah, so he also related. So the Lord revealed to him also, before there was ever anything. And we were not even thinking about it. We were not even thinking about it or planning about it. Just someone, you see someone, in the Lord starts now showing you things, and he's also showing him. So he spoke, and then later on, a friend of mine also came, and she also had a dream when she was shown that we got married. This was before there was even a courtship. So when she told me, I also did not tell her, oh, this is what's happening. So it was like three people were shown in dreams, and of course others also told me that you two, I think you two will make a good couple and all that, So that's how it happened. So I was shown, before there was a courtship, he was also shown. A friend of ours also had a dream that we got married before there was a courtship, and then the Lord led us, we went into a courtship. So when we went into a courtship, we actually didn't take long, because obviously we knew each other for years. Just going to church, we were seeing this person before there was anything. So when we started courting, just when we started courting, he actually informed his parents.
Wow.
Yes, he informed his parents. I think the only thing we didn't know was that he was supposed to inform my parents also. So you guys are privileged because you are getting this information. We did not have this privilege. For us, we didn't know. But he informed his parents immediately when we started courting. The same month, he informed the parents that there is someone whom he wants to marry. So the parents are the one who advised him, okay. He wanted to do the introduction like already because it's something we may show off when you each other. We're not courting, you just see each other. Yes, so he informed the parents and the mother said, okay, maybe just take time. So they told us to go, or they told him that we should go 3 months later. So 3 months later we went and met the family and then 3 months later we got married. So we just courted for 6 months. Yes, it was just 6 months.
It's only when you are sure.
Yes, and also, I mean, we knew each other, not as friends, like friends who are in a coach. We're not in a coaching, but you come to church, you are together, you know this person, and you are not, I was not even thinking of him. Maybe I was even looking outside. I did not know that he could be the one until the Lord started revealing them to us. I said, no, but why? And then that's how the Lord led us. We are 9 years married.
I have a question.
Okay, next year will be 10 years.
Amen.
10 years has been good.
God rest the Lord.
How many years? 9 years. We are 9 years married, and I cannot count the times when we had disagreements. There are times when we don't agree on things. Like I was saying, no, let's do this, but he comes and says, no, but why can't we do it this way? So I need to listen to his reason, and if his reason is right, for me, I always ask, is it salvational? If it's not salvational, then I'll go with his will or with what he's saying, as long as it's not salvational. And then there's peace. Life continues. So as long as it's not something salvational, don't make a big issue out of it, or keep it and say, no, last time we did this time we must do this, it's my way. No. If it's not salvational, go with his way and you are going to have peace in your home. So like I said, happiness is actually, you choose to be, whether you be happy or not happy. I mean, there are many things you say, no, you tell him, can you go to Fatima for holiday? They say, no, but I'm going to finances, we must do this. Then you start fighting, no, last year we didn't go and all that. Just listen to his reasoning. Why is he saying that? And you must be willing to compromise and to submit to what he's saying. And you'll be very happy. I mean, it's not salvation where you go for holiday, is it? Yes.
Yeah, I wanted to ask something. Seems like it's gone, but in your testimony, well, I wanted to ask you, I don't know if it's offensive, but I know it's not. You never liked this guy. I know it all. When you see him at church, there's truly nothing that moves me. Okay.
Of course, when we started talking, then we know about God's story. Then I started liking him. I liked him as a brother, as a person, his character. His character was, his character was such that, he had a good character. Of course, I admired his character, but I never put myself as someone to be with him. Yes, his character was one to admire.
Oh yeah, I also didn't hear the engagement part.
Okay.
Yeah, like I just said, courtship and marriage.
Okay. No, for us, we actually engaged and married at the same time. So it's like, yes, like we met parents in March. Then after that, he went with my family and they requested for a date. They were given a date in August. So in August, they went to do the lobola. So they went and they chimed him and he prayed. And after that, we wanted to have a ceremony, like a small celebration, but the Lord did not allow. The Lord did not allow. Because my family were asking, no, can we do this one later? But his family were like, no, he has already paid, give him his wife. So I believe the Lord did not allow for us to do that. And then when the Lord has his reason, we have also now learned that there mustn't be such a huge display. I mean, as long as the parents have agreed, he has paid the damage, they are able to allow you to go. So that's our engagement. We engaged after he pays, then 2 weeks later, I was allowed to go. Yes, when the engagement was very short as well. Yes.
Also,
any other questions? But of course, when we also started, this person was ready, isn't it? He was working, so this person was ready. That's why it also took a short time. Yes, and when the Lord showed him that this is the person, it took a short time. I think we could have married in 3 months, but the parents were okay, come in March. Just when we started, we agreed to start this coaching form. And then they said, okay, come after 3 months. So this person was ready. That's why it's important that the one you get in pre-coaching with is ready. Because if he is not ready, then it will take 10 years. And what will happen in 10 years? So a lot of things will happen. Most likely we won't even marry, so we are just wasting each other's time. So, are there any other comments? Oh.
Como na dunne choka donamos. Ese problema a tu grupo cada como viene que no es que.
Okay. Okay, as we can see, the elder and Ndjahi working well together. It's not something easy. For a married couple to work together in Christ to evangelize together. As we know, they came all the way from you just to come and evangelize him. Sometimes we are both from the same church, like both male and the couple. We are from both from the same church. Okay, so there's a situation at times where one of the people are from the church, while the person is from outside the church. What do you call it?
We can be from the church, but we can be unequally yoked, even though the person is from the same faith.
No, she was not there. I was doing it verbatim. You already know what she is. Unequally yoked.
Yeah. No, it
doesn't only occur between someone who's from inside the church and someone who's outside. It can also occur from members within the same church. Because our beliefs is not on the same level. We may both understand that we keep the Sabbath. But sometimes we can differ. For example, I come from my house.
She's saying, as we are from the same church, we believe the 10 commandments. Yet we may have different level of understanding. That you may say, I'm going to learn. But the guy will say, those spiritual things, it's not mine.
Okay.
Yeah. Situmbeko? Yeah. Anopendo dopo tanopuli. Or that will come kukala mulitule.
At those levels, you can end up being unequal.
Ano siwa ngo simtamisi bangai nyato tane halo na yelo kumo kuchao la kuli la mali go la kuli la penya.
So it's good to get to know each other to see where his beliefs and like where his spirituality ends.
Tuliko mbanda really most people can share.
Because of time, she's not going to be able.
Well, thank you. Thank you so much. I hope we learned something. And I hope we go and research further. There are books for you. It's always good to research. If someone says something, even the things we've spoken about, just go into it. Is it so? So do further research so that you know what we have done. We can stand up and sing just the first stanza, I think so. Then we can do something fresh.